After weeks of relentless bombardment, Russia is in control of most of Mariupol. But the Azovstal steelworks is the last bastion of Ukrainian defence in this port city. Around 2,000 fighters and hundreds of civilians are holed up in the massive industrial plant. They've been under constant shelling. But now, Russia has changed its tactics.
I consider the proposed storming of the industrial zone unnecessary. I order you to cancel it. Block off this industrial area so even a fly cannot pass through.
The Ukrainian soldiers have been told they can surrender. These red flags line a corridor in which they can take to do so. If they choose not to, the other option for now appears to be to stay underground and risk starvation. Outside the steelworks, there are still around 100,000 Ukrainian civilians trapped in Mariupol. Some were able to leave the city on Wednesday, but far fewer than the 6,000 authorities had hoped to evacuate. Ukraine says the humanitarian corridor agreed with Moscow collapsed because Russia has a lack of control over its troops.
We need a break after this shelling. After all this nightmare, we've been hiding in basements for 30 days.
In lieu of functioning humanitarian corridors, the Ukrainian president is offering to release Russian prisoners of war in return for the safe passage of civilians out of Mariupol.
We're trying to arrange it through Turkey, through President Erdogan, in case the Russians don't want to exchange people directly with us. We've offered all options to the Russians. We're waiting for a response.
In the country's second biggest city, Kharkiv, Ukrainian soldiers are firing back on Russian positions. This comes as the mayor says he and his people are once again under intense bombardment. Across Ukraine's east, the country's soldiers are digging in for what is proving to be an intense battle as Moscow focuses its fighting in the Donbass.
In the Kherson region, the occupiers have set a goal to completely block the humanitarian support the Ukrainian authorities are organising. The terror of the Ukrainian people continues.
But more help is on its way, with another round of military aid coming from the United States.
Today, I'm announcing another $800 million to further augment Ukraine's ability to fight in the east, in the Donbass region. This package includes heavy artillery weapons, dozens of howitzers, and 144,000 rounds of ammunition to go with those howitzers. It also includes more tactical drones.
The Spanish and Danish prime ministers are the latest in a string of world leaders to arrive in Kiev in a show of solidarity for Ukraine. Their mission is to discuss ways they can support the prosecution of war crimes and human rights violations. For those still stranded in Mariupol, the human rights violations are all too real. Many have spent weeks underground with food, medicine and drinking water, all very scarce. And now the promise of a safe passage out of the horror looks like it has once again failed to materialise. Sarah Morris, TRT World.